Alright, a quick video just showing a proof of concept, bit of fun I had this weekend. There was a thing on Thingiverse by Johan called the Vertex Belt Extruder, which is his design for taking the extruder motor off the actual carriage. Now, that's one design, but in the comments, Martin Price mentioned an alternative design, which I've mocked up here. Now, what I've done is just simply thrown a few things together to show how it would work, but also have a think about what needs to be designed and where the problems might lay. So it's a Matt Roberts extruder because it's small, but also very modular, so it's easy to take apart. And then what we've got here is a NEMA 11 stepper motor, which is the one I believe Adrian Barrier would use in the mini extruder that he designed. Okay, so that's just simply strapped onto the Z motor bracket there, and then we've got a small rubber coupling, and this is then, it's not very clear, but this is actually a square rod which was taken from an old printer. And then what I've done is I've actually just designed a small bracket here as the base of the extruder in order to hold a drive gear in place. And then over on the other side here, on the idler side, I've just simply strapped a bearing on the side, very kind of rough and ready, but just to show how it would work. And then, of course, as soon as I built this and put this together, I realized that maybe a better design for the drive gear is to use a herringbone gear, and that might stay in place without the need of a bracket. I'm not sure how strong that would be, but that's certainly another idea. Okay, so it works in the sense that it moves as it should. If you use extrusion and then reversing, it moves that way, and then as the carriage moves on the x-axis, the rod slides through the drive gear. Quite a straightforward design, of course, but quite effective. I did something similar with the X-carriage going down the other side previously, but this is quite a good idea. So the whole point of doing this, of course, would be to make the whole thing lighter so it could go faster. And so what I've done is I've preloaded a design with 200 millimeters per second running, and then this should restart. So let's assume it starts going a little bit faster than I normally would print, certainly. And the travel is 250 millimeters per second. So there's a few things. It's quite out of focus. Okay. So let's just pause that for a second. So there's a few things that I noticed whilst I was putting this together that might be worth keeping in mind should anybody really want to build something similar or design something similar. The first thing is that I'd probably try and make this part pretty static, because you can set the motor and the idler to a fixed position, and then you could actually fix this, make this quite static in relation to that, so it's a good fit, and then make the extruder, make the base that this extruder is attached to, instead of using holes, you could use some slots and move this back and forth in order to get a good grip with the drive gear. That would be the flexibility there. Then I would probably, what I've done here is put a few holes at the top so you could actually, so this whole contraption isn't stuck together, that you can actually take it apart. I'd probably actually redo this either, as I say, with herringbone gears. That's probably a good idea, worth trying, or actually using a gap at the back here, so that you can just simply put this whole rod in place. That might be quite good. And another idea would be to actually have some form of, some way of actually putting a spring so that there's intention, so it's actually pushing against the driven gear whilst it's running. but without actually interfering with the motion. You know, I'd have to think about that. But I mean, if you really put this in place so that it was, you know, everything lined up, everything measured, and so that everything was exact, you could probably actually get this to fit really quite nicely, and then you wouldn't really need a spring. But that's certainly one idea. Anyway, the whole thing is quite a nice proof of concept. When I get my the whole bolt for this fixed up, I might actually get this printing, but seeing that I'm not sure when I'll get time, I thought I'd actually just put this video together to see it working. Yeah.